ANDA is a generic application, or you can say generic drug application for the US market. ANDA means abbreviated new drug application. And to get the generic application approved by the US FDA, the exhibit batches are required to be taken, and through exhibit batches, it is demonstrated that the applicant can manufacture the drug product with the required quality and the regulatory compliance. I welcome all the viewers to this important video, and this information is to be understood by, or it is required to be known to the professionals in the pharmaceutical industry. And one thing I want to add here is the channel can provide you the video in your languages, the language you can understand the most. Now you can learn on this channel in the languages like English, French, German, Hindi, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Portuguese, and Spanish. So you can use the auto dubbing option from the setting, and you can learn in the language you understand the most. Welcome again to the video, and let's start with some introduction. So the ANDA submissions require the exhibit batches to demonstrate the robustness in the product, to demonstrate the stability, to demonstrate quality, manufacturing control, and also to demonstrate the bioequivalence. So understanding the exhibit batches role in the generic drug approval is very important. Exhibit batches are the specific drug product batches made at pilot or commercial scale, and after R&D phase, scale-up activity is taken, and in the scale-up, the process parameters are studied, and then the exhibit batches are manufactured. So use in the ANDA submissions to demonstrate product quality, stability, and the bioequivalence. What is the purpose for the manufacturing of exhibit batches? So first is manufacturing quality. It proves process can consistently produce the quality products that are meeting to the regulatory requirements and can prove as a comparable for the safety and efficacy like reference formulation or innovator. Then purpose is to demonstrate the stability. It provides shelf life and storage condition data. So based on that stability data, the shelf life or expiry period can be assigned, and also storage instruction can be derived. Then regulatory submission. The exhibit batches supports bioequivalence to the RLD in the ANDA. This is the main purpose for exhibit batches. Now see the key aspects of the exhibit batches. The exhibit batches are required to be manufactured for all the strengths, and the minimum number of exhibit batches are 3. So minimum 3 batches per strength per site. If you want to include more than one site, then exhibit batches will be separate for each site. The size of the batch will be equal to 10% of the commercial batch or 1 lakh units. Whichever is greater, you can go with that batch size. Then stability testing under real-time and accelerated condition, stability testing will be done. Also, along with these real-time and accelerated stability conditions, intermediate stability condition samples are also to be loaded at the same time. Documentation for the EB requires detailed records for the ANDA. Then now understand why the exhibit batches are important. First is FDA compliance, second is bioequivalence, third is patient safety. FDA compliance key requirement for the ANDA approval. Bioequivalence to support the therapeutic equivalence to the RLD. Patient safety to ensure consistent efficacy and safety. As we know that the generic formulations are required to be comparable to the RLD, they should demonstrate the therapeutic equivalence. Also, the quality parameters required to be met. Then, what are the exhibit batches? These are also called as registration batches. Some people call it as PV batches, and these are manufactured using the proposed commercial process equipments. So, the commercial equipments are required to be used in the manufacturing and packaging. These are required to support bioequivalence studies, stability studies, process validation. Also, dissolution and impurity profiling is done onto the exhibit batches. Then detailed purpose. BE study is there, stability study, process validation and comparative dissolution. These are the purpose or why the exhibit batches are manufactured. Generally, one batch is used out of 3 exhibit batches to demonstrate the bioequivalence. The bioequivalence study are performed as per the product specific guidances provided by the US FDA, and stability studies are performed as per the ICH guidelines to generate data to define shelf life and storage conditions. Process validation may validate the consistency and reproducibility. Also, the comparative dissolution is to be demonstrated for the non-BE strains. It proves similarity to RLD at pH 1.2, 4.5, 6.8. That means the multimedia dissolution is to be done. Then typically 3 batches are manufactured. Out of these 3 batches, we study on one batch and all the 3 batches are loaded on the stability. All the strains are required to be loaded on the stability. Then batches may serve multiple regulatory functions. Key characteristics of the exhibit batches. Batch scale or batch size is 10% of the commercial batch or 1 lakh units, whichever is greater. Manufacturing site is the proposed commercial site. GMP compliance must be there, and process should reflect full-scale commercial manufacturing. And all the equipments for manufacturing packaging should be commercial or pilot scale, but not the lab scale. That means the exhibit batches are required to be manufactured at the commercial plant. Then required documentation. So BMRs are required, certificate of analysis is required, the stability data including real-time and accelerated stability data, study reports, dissolution profiles, impurity profiles and justifications if any, validation protocols should be there in the documentation. Then also the proposed BMRs are required. Conclusion of the exhibit batches. Exhibit batches are vital in demonstrating the safety, quality, efficacy and robustness of the generic formulations and generic drugs. A well-documented and compliant approach ensures the smooth ND approval. So there should not be any failure in the exhibit batch manufacturing. The exhibit batches should meet all the critical quality attributes. So in short, exhibit batch purpose is to demonstrate manufacturing quality, establishing the stability and regulatory submission requirements. Key aspects are number of batches, batch size, stability testing and the documentation. Then exhibit batches details, FDA compliance, bioequivalence, patient safety. So in short, the exhibit batches should comply to the FDA, should demonstrate bioequivalence and should demonstrate the therapeutic equivalence and the patient safety. I hope this video will help you to understand about the exhibit batches, as many of the professionals don't know what are the exhibit batches and why these are important for the pharmaceutical industries and for filing the abbreviated new drug applications. It is not like that the exhibit batches are only for the ANDA. These are to be manufactured for all the generic applications in the uh, country specific regulatory agencies also. And whenever the applicant needs to apply for generic product, that time exhibit batches are required. Sometimes these are called as registration batches, sometimes these are called as PV batches or process validation batches. Now you can learn from this channel in your native languages. So you need to go to the setting and check the auto dubbing option and change the language as per your requirement. As we know that the languages help to understand much more details about the topics. So YouTube has given this option on this channel, and I wanted to make you known for this option. You can learn in various languages like English, French, German, Hindi, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Portuguese, and Spanish. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have any queries or questions, you can comment, and also you can mail me on my mail ID given in the description. Thank you.